So, in our previous video, we went over a lot of different ways to get started with the workflows and what you need to know about Clay functionally to get started. Now, the tough part is not only do you need to know how to use Clay, you need to know how to use the rest of the integrations. And so, in this video, we're going to go over sources, the different reasons that I use sources, and we're not going to complete full workflows. We're going to do workflows later, but we're going to deep dive into just the sources right now. So, if you ever want to see all the sources, you just hit New Table, and all of the sources are going to pop in front of you. And then if you want, other company people, they have filters. But at this point, we're just going to start at the top. And so I'm literally just going to do a quick explanation of all of the sources and how I use them. So find companies from LinkedIn. This is exactly the way that it sounds. There's person profiles on LinkedIn and there's company profiles on LinkedIn. This allows you to do a search for company profiles on LinkedIn. So if you wanted to find a list of companies that were in the banking industry and in their company description they said credit union, this is a phenomenal way to build that list of companies right here. Just find companies from LinkedIn. You could also find jobs from LinkedIn. So if you wanted to find every company that is hiring for a sales development representative in the United States, this would be the integration for you. If you wanted to find local businesses using Google Maps, this would be the integration that you would be using. So this really comes in handy when you are prospecting to small business owners or local businesses. So I always think about it as, most companies will be on LinkedIn. They know they should have a LinkedIn presence. At the very minimum, some kind of marketing intern came into the company at one point and, to just waste a day, they set up a LinkedIn profile. Like that, like it got done at some point. They got a LinkedIn profile. A lot of these local businesses, though, do not care for LinkedIn profiles whatsoever. And so a plumbing company has no use for a LinkedIn profile. Why would they make a LinkedIn profile? They're not going to get any business from it. And so LinkedIn is not going to be a good place to build a list of plumbers, restaurants, hairstylists, those different things. But when you look at find local businesses using Google Maps, any plumber worth their salt, any hairstylist worth their salt, any restaurant worth their salt is going to be listed on Google Maps. And so Google Maps is a great one to build those prospecting lists off of for local businesses. Now, keep in mind that all of the data that you can get has to be possible to get publicly, right? So a big question that I had that people go over, and I'm going to go over our local business prospecting workflow, is they say, "Great, you got me these, but there's no way to find the owner's email address." Okay, you go to the website, and one, do they even mention the owner on the website? And two, if they do, is it just like a random blog article? And like, how would you structure that data so at scale you'd be able to pull it? So always keep in mind that all of the data that can be structured really easily and really well has basically been done so far. And so for plumbing companies, if you want the owner of the plumbing company and they don't list the owner on the website, Clay really can't do a better job than that. And we'll have a full workflow. You can skip ahead to that right now if that's really what you're interested, but I'm going to move on from here. This one allows you to find companies with store leads. This is really great for finding e-commerce companies. A lot of times it's tough to find e-commerce companies sometimes because if you just use the LinkedIn company source over here, and you just found retail companies, you're going to get Gymshark, you're going to get Noble Project, you're going to get Oakley, you're going to get all of those different kinds of companies, but you're also going to get ShopRite, Target, Walmart, and that's not going to be the best ones for you. So finding companies with store leads is really great if you only sell to e-commerce brands. And then importing data with a CSV, probably my favorite way to do it. And then we'll move on to people. So finding people from LinkedIn is a great source so that you'd be able to you could have a list of company domains already from LinkedIn, but this is great if you just need, IT directors that mention mobile phones on their profiles. Like this is a really, really good one for you to use. Now, both the company data and the people data is all based off of public data on LinkedIn. So you must keep in mind that if the person has a private profile, and you can check if you go like copy and paste the link of the person that you think that Clay missed, and if you go into an incognito tab and you look them up and there's like barely any data on their page, if you don't log in, that person has a private profile and they couldn't be added. What we can do here, find people from Sales Navigator. This does go behind the login. This is technically, so this is completely compliant with LinkedIn's terms of services. This one gets a little hairy. So if by the time you're watching this video, this doesn't exist on Clay, it's, because it had to get pulled. Find stargazers on GitHub, find contributors on GitHub. Really great if you're trying to target technical people. And then you can import data from your CRMs as well. So importing records from Salesforce, companies from HubSpot, enriching your data from Airtable, so you can pull in records from Airtable, importing contacts from Close, all really, really great stuff. Starting with a Google search, this is really great if you, I use this one if I want to target social media influencers. This is basically the one that I use. And so we'll do a workflow with that. And actually I should write that down. And so Google search is really great for doing that. We'll talk about that later. Importing data from a webhook. This is a kind of low code way to add data, and we'll have some examples of that as well. Finding people from Apollo, you need your own API key here, Typeform as well. Phantom Buster is its own awesome, awesome platform. It's like the gateway drug of scraping. We'll have a module on that pretty like later as well. And then we have templates that Clay has created that people usually want to use all the time. But so this is just a quick overview of all of the sources. This video is going to be way shorter than the integrations video, but now we're going to hop over and talk about the integrations.